And let's listen to that song. It's a Christmas song, but I'm excited because it's, 4 months after Christmas, right? So let's listen to this Christmas song, and then we'll go over the Wheel of Death, right? All right, let's hit it. Oh, man. Here's our piece. So the name of this video, by the way, is entirely in Finnish. I just remember Metal Christmas, Raskasta Joulua. And now I'm realizing it's Northern Kings. It's all our favorites. It's JP, it's Tony, Marco, and Jarkko. Let's hit it.
Heinillä Härkien Kaukalon nukkuu lapsi viaton. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Helmassa äitinsä armahan nukkuu poika Jumalan. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan.
Oh, nice melody. Walking in the air. Oh, thank you, Malva.
Keskellä liljain ja ruusujen nukkuu Herra ihmisten. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Ristillä rinnalla ryövärin nukkuu uhri puhtaahin. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan.
All right. Thanks, Randy. Yeah, Market, I hear it too. All right, so great. We listened through the whole thing. These are some awesome singers. One of my favorite things to listen to is a singer singing in their native language. And here we have 4 amazing examples. Now, as someone said, who says it? Who said it? Oh, Didi. Yeah, the language is so unique. You love the way it sounds. And Cosmic, it's so beautiful. Yes, it is. Because Finnish is a very forward, bright, and uniquely rhythmic language, right? Finnish is very sibilant in nature. There's no length stress in the language, essentially, except when it's notated. There's either like a single time length or a double time length with double vowels. But let's go through. Let's talk about each of them, kind of how they approach language differently and how it kind of adjusts in their voice. Let's start at the beginning with Tony's singing, right? Tony Kakko, Sonata Arctica. Beautiful, sensitive singer. Let's hit it.
Heinillä Härkien Kaukalon nukkuu lapsi viaton. Enkel parven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan.
All right, so Tony's singing is really, really, really focused in the mask. It has a lot of sensitivity in it, and you'll hear this in his singing that he goes back and forth between like really harsh forwards and really released like warm notes. And he's singing in a much lower, much warmer place, but the placement of the sound is still really high, and you get a lot of that brightness, especially when he goes to like an ooh vowel. And you can hear in the vocal tract how it really colors that sound nicely. I think the word is like ruku or something like that, but listen to how he keeps like that forward nasal space. It's not nasal necessarily, but it's very forward and resonant, and yet really relaxed in the back, which allows him to get that really unique color that when you hear it, you're instantly like, oh, that's Tony Kakko, if you've ever heard him singing before.
Luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Helmassa
A little farther back, right there.
Lapsi viaton, enkel parven tie.
But notice how he keeps it relaxed the entire time.
Rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Helmassa äitinsä armaan.
So Jarkko Ahola, right? Awesome, unique metal power singer, right? He kind of can do everything with his voice. And part of that is because he's singing this an octave up of Tony, right? When Tony goes high, you kind of always get that consistent volume, that really unique sound, but it's always at a very consistent volume. With Jarkko's singing, he kind of does a really good job. He's made a business, right, out of taking that higher range that's very well supported and very colored and very powerful, and kind of doing that in all different kinds of textures. So let's just kind of listen to what he does an octave higher than Tony. Not in a better way, just in a different way and in a higher range. So he always keeps that like cry in the sound that you don't get from everyone else. It's literally, when I say cry, it's literally the sound that you make if you were to cry, right? That natural flow of breath. It's really well done. Now he's not trained specifically. Like he's never taken a lot of voice lessons or learned from one specific singer. He learns from the people around him. He's taught himself. And so it's really cool to hear how he's influenced directly through the body's natural vocal, the sounds your body naturally makes. That's how he's learned to make these really cool sounds in a released way. And you hear that sort of guttural intensity coming straight from the abdomen. Like if you were to cry in a really natural way and make a lot of sound, like a baby's cry, the most released natural sound humans make in their life, you hear that happening in his voice, and it's really effective. And that's how he's able to sing so high and so easily up there, which is really cool. And he also always keeps that vocal tract area really open, which gives us that unique color, right? Very, very good. Very good to listen to. So let's go find JP. Nice bass.
Keskellä liljain ja ruusujen nukkuu Herra ihmisten enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan.
All right, so JP is like the baritone of the Northern Kings, right? But let's hear this out. When we think about a baritone voice or a lower voice, we tend to think of it as something that's like back or dark or kind of more covered. But JP's voice is incredibly bright. Like JP adds so much front color into it that not only is affected by the language, the way he's using the language. Again, listening to native speakers of a specific language is super, super vital, because you can hear the best way it's sung, pretty much. When there's a professional singer singing in their native language, something very special happens, and you can hear the nuances that go into it. And you can hear literally how they color the sound with their voice. JP keeps it very, very forward despite having a lower voice. It's a very good testament in that you should never try to falsely color the voice, your sound. Your voice is going to be what it is. You should always try to feel it resonantly all the way up in your head, all the way in your chest, whatever it means, and let the language indicate, past the beginner level into the amateur level and onto the professional level. You start thinking of language in terms of the resonance that it creates, the different vowels and where they kind of live for their best sound on certain pitches. And in his most comfortable range, JP keeps those vowels very forward and very resonant, which is awesome to hear. So cool. And it's just, he keeps all that warmth and depth in the sound, but the sound is placed because of the language so forward, which is a really good testament. If you want to learn Finnish, listen to these guys sing. If you want to learn how to sing in Finnish, well, listen to these guys.
Vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Ristillä rinnalla ryövärin nukkuu uhrit puhtaahiin. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan. Enkelparven tie kohta luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan.
Yeah, so here we go. Marko, Hietala. Marko's voice is so open and bright. And he's also, I'd say he's probably one of the older ones in the group. And he's been around for a while. And he's kind of mastered that iconic metal sound combined with kind of the Finnish tendency to be very bright and open with the voice, and yet retain so much of the warmth and bite in the sound. Whenever Marko starts to sing, it's like, it's such a biting sound. Balis. I've been learning Finnish only in the last few months. It's very easy for me as a Hungarian to learn how to write and read Finnish, but we have much more letters and how to say the words. And Finnish seems to be as difficult as Hungarian grammar-wise. I think the writing is not close to Hungarian, but easy to learn. Very interesting. Very interesting. I've heard that the biggest tells when it comes to speaking Finnish is the way that you make your R's and your L's, and also the way you create the A's, because the A's have to be very, very bright. But if I were to use the American L, it would be the biggest tell if I were to speak anything in Finnish that I didn't speak the language, essentially. Why is his voice so easy to recognize? Marko's voice, right? So it's like I was saying, Marko has that consistent brightness in his sound that's not easy to maintain if you haven't trained it in. But I think something has to be attributed to his. I would guess, because I don't know for sure, but I would guess that he has had the longest career out of all of these singers sitting up here right now. And part of that, he's not a trained singer. He had some vocal issues at one point and had to retrain his voice. But those kinds of like things that happen to a voice along the journey, things like running into issues because of technique or maybe overuse, that kind of thing, and then having to kind of step back and reconstruct your own technique, but still having to deal with the repercussions of whatever that vocal event was, because he had to get vocal surgery, right? Those kinds of things will make a voice more unique to hear. They're not necessarily good, or I'm not going to even say they're necessarily bad, but they make a voice more unique. So like Marco's singing is very unique because of the journey it's had, I would say. All four of these singers have incredibly unique voices. You can kind of pick them all out especially if you've listened to them. But Huocus, I'm not going to speculate on what Marco's vocal damage was, because I've heard as many stories as people care to tell, like different stories. So I can't say for sure. But yeah, he's definitely older. Definitely older than these guys. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so according to Minutus, Marco had permanent nerve damage from surgery, according to his interview. So he had kind of a botched vocal surgery. This is kind of the most prevalent thing that I've heard. According to his interview, he's had botched vocal surgery, and he had to do a lot of, obviously he still sang after that. He had to do a lot of recovery with a vocal coach. Capriani, thank you. Wow. Holy moly. 20 gifted subscriptions to the channel. Guys, if you are one of those lucky 20, please give Capriani a big thank you. Lanito, 5 gifted subscriptions to the channel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. And I was about to say how toxic the mods are, but I can't say that anymore. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's go. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So guys, if you got a subscription, please give them a warm thank you. Thank you. Keck W, dude. What? Oh man. Let's listen to Marco singing again. Cosmic, thank you for the 5 subscriptions. Oh my gosh. Diluting the chances on the wheel. Yeah, right?
Luokse vie rakkautta suurinta katsomaan.
Yeah, so Oversmurf, I hear you. His earlier singing definitely has a lot of thrust and force in it, right? Definitely has a lot of that false chord. And I think Marco's technique has a lot more fry screaming. It actually has like a mix of it. Now, I have not in depth listened to his early stuff compared to his later stuff. We've done a little bit of that. But it's very clear to hear, a difference, right? In his earlier recordings with groups like Tarot, and then his later stuff with Nightwish. There's definitely like a frailty that has crept in, but it's almost added like a sweetness to his technique. And again, it's like butter. It's like your nose in the butter. Well, I mean, so he can get such warm, beautiful, sweet sounds out of his voice, but then when he wants to, he also has so much cutting power, so much grit in the sound. And that's after that surgery happened, right? I mean, it's very, very interesting. And I mean, there's so much you can speculate whether it was like the grit and the distortion that caused the damage, or maybe it was just overuse from singing a lot, not in a perfectly healthy way. I mean, regardless, we're lucky to see him at this point in his career being able to make choices, not because he has to stop singing and making music because of technique, but he's making the choice to step away because of his personal thing. Like he has the luxury of stepping away from his own, by his own will, rather than stepping away because he's forced to by technique, right? Yes, and Floor did give him coachings, as I've heard from multiple people. Yeah. Okay, Capriani, thank you for the the subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's listen to all these guys. The gifted sub to Eve Gem Gem. Welcome, Eve Gem Gem. Let's listen to this. Let's finish off this song. Hear them all together, and then we'll move on to more the wheel of death. Let's do it. That's not wrong. But they're, yes, all great. All of these four guys, these four singers are like, they're like aspirational. It's absolutely insane. Like, these guys are titans with what they do. Absolutely incredible instruments, all four of them. Hello, hello, Eco Warrior Princess. Native language singing. That's what you can get out of this. And that's what I love about all of the Raskasta Yolua concerts too. It's because it's for the most part, it's all native speakers, I mean, with a few exceptions. But it's all native speakers singing Christmas songs in their native language in the style that they have become like legends at. So I just think it's super interesting. Yeah, Northern Kings, Merry Christmas. I love it. Metal Christmas. Yeah. Would I rather listen to these guys or the three tenors? I would like to listen to both, but my personal preference would probably be the three tenors for a certain repertoire. But I mean, it's so different that it depends on my mood. But I would probably listen to the three tenors. But that's, guys, I'm just another person with a different taste, you know. How many subs do we need to reach this month's goal? I think it was the same as last month. 100% I think is, I can check. I think it's it's either 150 or 175 total. And if we're at 60%, 66%, 2/3 of the way there, I don't know math. Okay, guys. So let's finish the song. We can hit the. All right, guys, it's time. Shall we spin the wheel? Let's get some wheel spinning music in here.